All right, let's dive right into this explainer and tackle something pretty much all of us deal with every single day. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? That intense, almost overwhelming stiffness you feel in those very first 10 seconds after opening your eyes. It feels like your body is aging in dog years. But here's the thing, from a physical therapy perspective, what you're actually feeling isn't what you think it is.
Let's be honest for a second. Do your knees creak, pop, or sound like a pair of rusty hinges the absolute second your feet hit the bedroom floor? If you're nodding along right now, believe me, you are so not alone. That first step is the exact moment the mechanical reality of our joint health really hits us. And then you try to stand up. Does your lower back feel completely rigid, like somebody snuck in and poured quick-drying cement right down your spine overnight? You try to straighten out, but your body just totally resists it. And let's not forget the upper body. Are your shoulders locked completely in place before you've even managed to shuffle your way into the kitchen for that first cup of coffee? Look, these morning realities are incredibly frustrating, and they kind of set a really painful tone for the entire rest of the day.
But here is a massive paradigm shift for you. That stiffness, it's actually not just permanent, unavoidable aging. It's a highly fixable problem caused by a simple lack of movement. Seriously, not that long ago, I would sit up so slowly, wait for the pain to settle, and do this 90-year-old shuffle to the coffee maker. I literally thought, well, I guess this is just what getting older feels like. But it wasn't. It was simply my joints screaming for movement they weren't getting.
Section 1. The Science of Stiff Joints.
So it really all comes down to one thing, synovial fluid. This is the natural lubricant sitting right inside your joints. You can kind of think of it as your body's own built-in WD-40. When you're moving around, this fluid coats your cartilage, keeping all your movements incredibly smooth, gliding, and most importantly, totally pain-free.
And here is exactly where that morning stiffness starts. During the day, when you're active, that synovial fluid is a nice flowing liquid. But when you lie completely still in bed for 7 or 8 hours, that fluid physically changes. It thickens up. It actually transforms from a smooth liquid into something a lot closer structurally to cold honey. That thick, sluggish honey feeling, that is the stiffness and the creaking you're experiencing. And the only thing that's going to thin it out and get it moving again isn't time, and it definitely isn't coffee. It's gentle, deliberate movement.
Moving on to Section 2, Red Flags and Ground Rules.
Just a quick heads up for general education. If you're dealing with specific conditions like arthritis, osteoporosis, recent surgeries, balance problems, or if you're getting sharp, shooting pain instead of just the usual morning stiffness, you've absolutely got to talk to your doctor first. A fundamental rule for long-term joint health is this: never, ever force a stretch, and please don't push through sharp pain. You know your own body better than anybody else.
And that brings us to the overarching rule for literally everything we're about to cover. Speed creates tension in stiff joints. Slowness creates space. If you try to just rush through mobility work, your body's going to tighten right back up to protect itself. But if you move slowly, deliberately, and actually breathe through it, your joints will naturally open up. When it comes to morning mobility, slow and small will always beat fast and hard.
All right, Section 3, the 5 mobility moves. Now, before we get into the exact alignment for each one, physical therapists actually recommend a quick micro warm-up first. While you're still in bed, just take 3 deep breaths and gently rub your hands over your knees and lower back. It sounds incredibly simple, but it brings some crucial initial blood flow right to those muscles.
Okay, move number 1 is gentle spinal rocks. And you've got some great options here depending on your mobility. If you're still lying in bed, just hug both knees toward your chest. Or if you need to modify this for an office desk or just prefer sitting, plant your feet flat and sit up nice and tall in a sturdy chair. The actual motion here is tiny. You're just rocking side to side, maybe 1 or 2 inches. Think of it like a really slow, easy sway for about 30 seconds. From a clinical perspective, this tiny, localized movement is gently waking up your lower back and hips, which is the absolute foundation of your posture without overloading them right out of the gate.
Move 2 brings us to knee drops. So, lying flat on your bed with your knees bent and feet planted flat, you're going to let both knees gently fall over to the right, back up to the center, and then over to the left. You're aiming for 10 super slow reps per side. Now, here is a really critical posture cue. Keep your shoulders as flat and relaxed on the mattress as you possibly can. This anchors your upper body and guarantees that the rotation is actually happening in your lower spine and hips where it needs to be. The biggest mistake I see here? Speeding up because it feels easy. Remember our golden rule, speed equals tension. Take it slow.
Next up, we've got the seated cat-cow.
Sitting upright in a chair with your feet flat, take a deep breath in and gently arch your back, lifting your chest up. Then, as you breathe out, round your back and tuck your chin. You want to do this for 8 slow, really fluid rounds. And here's why this is amazing. This specific wave-like motion physically pumps fresh fluid straight back into the discs between your vertebrae. It is quite literally hydrating your spine. So if your back has been chronically sore for years, this kind of structural hydration is exactly the move you want to make a daily habit.
Move 4 targets the upper body, shoulder rolls and neck nods. You're just going to slowly roll your shoulders up, back, and then down. After that, give a little yes nod with your head in a small range of motion, and then slowly turn it no. This move is an absolutely essential clinical recommendation, especially if you sleep on your side, which completely compresses that shoulder capsule, or if you're hunched over a computer at your desk all day. You know, upper back tightness builds up so microscopically over the years that it starts to feel permanent. But with this intentional, super slow rotation, we're finally breaking that cycle of tension.
And finally, move 5, the supported forward fold. You're going to stand up slowly, grip the back of a sturdy chair just for balance, and soften your knees. Definitely do not lock them out. Then, gently hinge at your hips and just let your upper body hang there. You're holding this for about 15 to 20 seconds. Imagine your spine after a long night's sleep is like a totally compressed sponge. As you hold this forward fold, the weight of your upper body acts almost like you're wringing out that sponge. Slowly, everything that got compressed and tightened up overnight begins to naturally expand and open right back up.
Section 4, your daily guide and weekly checklist.
Okay, here's your simple, printable, step-by-step daily guide. Column 1 is the move. Column 2 is your position, whether you're in bed, a chair, or standing. And column 3 is your target goal. So that's spinal rocks for 30 seconds, knee drops for 10 reps, cat-cow for 8 rounds, shoulder and neck rolls 5 times each, and finally the forward fold for 15 to 20 seconds. Getting this sequence memorized completely takes the friction out of your morning. You literally don't even have to think. You just look at the list and start waking up those joints.
But hey, what if you're super short on time? I get it. Here is a stripped-down weekly checklist for you. Step 1, wake up. Step 2, just knock out moves 1, 2, and 3. Step 3, repeat that just 3 mornings a week. That is literally it. You really don't need to do all 5 moves perfectly every single day to see a dramatic change in how you feel.
2. That is the magic number of minutes it takes to actually complete those core 3 moves. Barely 2 minutes. If you can hit that 2-minute mark just 3 times a week, you are going to hit your first major markers of improvement. Within the first 2 weeks, your joints will physically start to remember the movement. By week 3, that synovial fluid is going to stay far more liquid, and by the end of month 1, your measurable marker of success is simply stepping out of bed without needing to brace yourself on the nightstand or shuffle your feet across the floor.
Because the absolute truth of long-term joint health is this: consistency beats perfection, every single time. Doing a tiny, somewhat imperfect 2-minute routine consistently is just infinitely better for your joint cartilage than some flawless hour-long routine that you only manage to do once a month. Look, your joints didn't stiffen up overnight, and to be fair, they aren't going to loosen up completely overnight either. But starting small, that is what gives your body the chance to actually heal.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought. Are you ready to commit? This routine is completely free. It requires 0 equipment, and it takes 2 minutes. Are you ready to mentally type day 1 and start your new morning routine tomorrow? You've got the biological roadmap right in front of you now. You know exactly how to unstick that cold honey in your joints. Now, you just have to wake up, take a deep breath, and start moving.